we set up a work table and we map things to people and places. So our places, we'll start with our sites. So as you can see, I have a few companies. I'm going to focus on just a quick hit. We do both inventory and just straight ARAP transactions between companies. I'm going to focus on company one and company two. I have created them as US and Canada. And you'll notice that we put in a URL. So this actually works for multiple instances as well. So you could go across different copies of Acumatica. They don't even actually have to be the same version of Acumatica, which is pretty nice. It also means that our code is fairly protected from version upgrades. For the most part, all of the communication between sites is through what's called a contract, a web service contract. Those change much less frequently than it does Acumatica twice a year. This contract happens to be the 2018 contract. I can tell you that the 2018 contract is still in use. Actually, the 2017 contract is still in use, still exists in 2023 R1, 6 years later. So it's very stable. The next thing is the people. So in order to, let's, not manufacturing, let's do a bartender. Okay, so that was a setup for inventory, doing purchase orders that make sales orders, that also make payments, etc., to do the full scope of transferring inventory. I was told you guys are really just interested in being able to charge the companies basically to hit a due from sort of intercompany accounting. Is that correct?
For now, yes.
Okay, it'll do either. I'm showing you the very simple setup is who am I in this company and who am I in the other company. So what it means is you become a customer vendor relationship between the two physical companies. And every time, in this case, I have an invoice for a bartender, I'm going to generate an identical AP bill in Canada for his inverse, in this case, inverse, I guess that'd be the customer code, the vendor code. This would be the vendor code net, customer code, right? Okay, so what that means is that if I go to intercompany, I got a bunch of stuff here, so let's just make a new one so you can see how this works. If I go to a bartender and I create not a shipment, I'm just going to call this admin. It can really be whatever you want as long as they exist in both tenants. So you can set up whatever accounting treatment you want. This is just doing the mechanics. If you want to, say, create like your own bar tab of who's paid what, you would end up setting up like a cash account where you're the bank. And that's the easiest way to do it because you always end up being able to merge a positive and a negative balance, a positive, negative liability or asset, whatever. When they consolidate, they zero each other out. It's beautiful. So that would just be.
Do you need an inventory ID here, or can you just put in an amount?
It's a good question, and I will test that after this meeting. But since I know it works with an inventory ID, we're going to go ahead and just make it an inventory ID. It's not passing anything but the inventory. I believe it does need an inventory ID, thinking about the code. I think it needs to be an inventory ID, a quantity, and a price. Those are the only three things in the grid that really matter to it when it passes off the bill. And we're just going to go look at bills and adjustments. And you can see I'm in company one. I'm going to skip over to company two and go to my bills and adjustments. And so we have a balanced bill from a previous test, but we're at 3126. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I have a sales tax provider also in here. So it's going to figure out that I have an exempt item that doesn't need tax. And we're going to go ahead and let it hit save. And I should have no tax because it is an exempt item. Perfect. So I'm just passing $250 single unit of charge. Again, whatever you want, as long as they exist in both places. That gives you the ability, if you didn't want the same GL accounts and things like that, really it's however you want to map it. So it's very flexible because you are in complete control. I'm just picking up the high level and dropping it into the other. So if I look at this, still nothing here. I'm at 3126. And what I'm going to do is go to my intercompany transactions, my intercompany transactions, and of course it's not ready because I haven't released it. So how can it make a bill? So let's release it. Go back to here, and let's refresh this. Okay, so I have 418, 418. Okay, so on here, I just want to process 418. And again, let's go to bills and adjustments, refresh it. Still nothing here. Now, when I process this, web services is going to, it's going to pick up and look at this list. It's going to pull everything up, done already. And it's going to create your AP bill. So I have my invoice. Now, if I refresh this, I have my AP bill. And if I go into my AP bill, you can look at the transfer for AR 10418, AR 10418. I have one at $250. And the bills and adjustments, one at a unit cost of $250 for this, no tax. It's really that simple. So it has generated your AP bill associated with your AR invoice automatically. So no matter what you throw through there, as long as you have this guy mapped to this guy, and you have whatever inventory IDs you decide to set up for specific pieces of your transference in the intercompany, it works. It'll take whatever you say. Typically, most people, for just doing this, not doing an inventory, just pass a quantity of one. It's one of whatever you say, and then whatever the dollar amount is, it passes through. And if you really want to get, excuse me, fancy, then you change the payment method to something wired to like Interco as your payment method, and then make your cash account, like you're the bank at that point. And now if you just pay them, it always just sits on that ledger, and one's positive and one's negative on the cash account, and then you can wire transfer right against the cash account to relieve it. Does that make sense? So it doesn't sit in payable, outstanding payables or receivables, etc. So it just sits in the bar tab. I call it the bar tab. Questions? I either did a really good job explaining it or I lost everybody. So quiet.
What are the finance, go to finance journal transactions, what do those show?
At this point, it would show open. This would show an open bill. Actually, it wouldn't.
No,
because
I
haven't
meant
released it.
in finance, go to finance. Journal transactions. Let's look at that. Where does intercompany come in here? Or
It's not. It's still sitting as accounts payable. That's why I said you want to pay it. When you pay it, here, let's see if we set up company one for it. Okay, so I have it sitting out here because of the way the product is set up for administrative charges. This could be anything you want. It's sitting in accounts receivable because it hasn't been relieved. When you pay it against intercompany. So let's just look at the source document for a moment. All right. So he's set to check. This guy doesn't have an intercompany. Okay.
I had a question. Can you hear me?
Sure. Yes. What's up?
I'm having issues with connection, and I don't know if it's only me. I'm connected to the company network, but you're in and out. You're in and out. Right now, the screen is not showing, and I don't know if it's only my problem or anybody else has that issue.
Well, I'm seeing it fine.
I'm seeing it as well.
I can also see it, Alina.
But it's okay. Well, I do have full connection, it seems, but it's okay. I don't know what it is.
Maybe drop out of the meeting and come back in.
So this cash payment that's about to happen, is there actually going to be cash transferred, or is it just for the system to know, take it out of AP and it'll put it into intercompany?
Correct. What you're going to know from that is one of the cash accounts will have a negative balance, and one of the cash accounts will have a positive balance. I'm only doing a simple one because it's two companies, but if you had multiple companies, you would probably want to keep that in separate accounts. Obviously, probably show something to the effect of that. You might want something that looks more like.
Yeah, for each sub, have an intercompany do to, do from. A, B,
Yeah,
and
a
C or
single,
whatever.
a single account that rolls up like this. You can see them all, like
Yep.
just piled up, just like that. I'm just doing the simplified version to show you. That's Taco Bell's. Every store has its own due to from the various corporate and then corporate to the owner umbrella and all that kind of nonsense. So we're going to go to detail. We're going to call this US dollars because I want it to be a cash account. Then we're going to go to cash accounts. We're going to assign that account. 9999. And technically, it could be because we don't want two lines. It's kind of a pain when you have a due to and a due from separate. I like to keep them as just due to from as one, because then they just naturally like roll up nicely, and that you have either a positive or negative asset or liability, depending on the direction you want to mess with. Yeah. Another process has updated me. Well, that was awesome. Try that again without the other process. That's nice. Okay, so on my payment methods, Interco. All right, so then on my invoice, invoice. My financial, I'm gonna then be Interco. I did not give it a default cash account, and I should have, but I'm gonna put it in by hand here. Save that, and now I'm gonna pay it. So I just pay it. It gives me, and I'm going to show you the GL entry. And on the inverse, you're going to receive it the same way, and it's going to do the same thing. And basically, I'm going to take $250 out of one, and I'm going to put $250 in the other company on it. Thus, when I take the two companies and slap them together, they should be zero, right? If I'm going to consolidate my financials under one umbrella. So I'm going to release this payment. Yep. Okay. Release it. What's the problem? Oh, yeah.
And so on this payment, it's essentially going to be marked as paid. So I'm
Yes.
thinking of like
So
foreign currency translation and consolidation adjustments for unrealized gain loss.
yes, you're still gonna have to technically your adjustments for foreign currency are still going to happen when actual money transpires, because
Gotcha.
the value is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's still going to
So
calculate the translation adjustment then, right?
yes, at the time, but
Okay.
you have to change the currency. You have to tell it what you're paying in. But yeah, let's see. So this is my AR and this is my intercompany account, and you can see my debit and my credit. Just par at US dollars. So that is where we'd actually. So you're using AP and AR to generate the subledger demand, so that the due to, due froms aren't just GL transactions. They are like some sort of demand, some sort of payable demand, and some sort of receivable demand in between. That's how our system works. And the payments, I think, are all the payments can all be automated as well. So you can make it just flow through doing the payments using stock Acumatica. Any questions?
So is this a part of Acumatica, or is this a separate module that needs to be installed?
The intercompany that we built is a separate module that's bolted sort of on the edge of Acumatica, not too deeply in. And it will handle, if we go and look at PO orders, I have piles of POs that created SOs. This actually is to set up the payment for that PO on this. But yeah, we put this in to overcome some of the limitations to Acumatica's intercompany capabilities. We actually built this many years ago. They've come a
Okay.
long way, but they're still not here.
Okay. And does this require any maintenance?
Only when you upgrade, I believe. We send a new
Okay.
version out. It doesn't have a whole lot of code that's like really intrusive to Acumatica, so it's not very difficult for us to maintain. It was well thought out back in 2018. Who was the customer that originally had this, Jim? Jewel? I don't remember who it was now. It's about 5 years ago.
But I understand you probably have more than one customer right now.
Yeah, we do. I'm just trying to think of the first one. When we built
Mhm.
this, I think we built this in 2017 or 2018
And are you
originally.
guys the ones who are installing it, or is that not
Correct.
at work? That's you are. Okay.
We,
Okay.
we generally install it and then configure it for you.
Okay.
I just did one a week ago for someone else. So
Okay.
we're pretty good at it. We can get it done pretty quickly.
And you can send me some pricing for this?
I cannot, but the big cheese can.
Okay. Well, when I
Jim?
okay.
Jim, that's you. Jim?
Yeah, Alina, Jim and I will get together and put a proposal together for you.
Perfect.
It'll have a software component and an implementation component there, but we'll Jim and I will huddle. We'll get it all set up for you, and we'll send it over to you via email ahead of a call. But we'll definitely want to probably get on a call to explain it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. My headphone turned off. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to work on that.
Okay. How can I just go into it and just see a little more in details? I have to admit, half of the presentation I was not able to see. It seems like we're having some issue with internet here in the company, but I am planning to review the recording. But I was just thinking, can you send me a link to something that I can actually go into and see how that works on my own?
it's going to be a little, you got us at we are updating our demo systems for Acumatica 22R1 and 23, check that, 22R2 and 23R1.
Correct.
And we've made some infrastructure changes, so I need a couple of weeks is the problem before I can meet that requirement, but before I can provide that. I can give you the video right away, and then I have to ask you to hold on because we are in this transition where we're setting up our ISV products on demo sites. And again, I'm about a week to 2 weeks away from having our InterTenant accounting set up for customers and prospects and VARs to review. So I apologize. I don't have it right now. I will in about 2 weeks. Is that good enough?
Oh, I was hoping it's going to be up and running by then, but
Yeah, I just I apologize. We literally undid all. We had this all running in the 21 R2, 21, 22, 21 R2, etc. And we've just, this is our
I don't think
view that
it's
Matt's
up.
bringing up to our demo sites,
I
and
don't
we
think
don't
it's
have
up.
InterTenant going. No, it's not. I know it's not.
It's broken. You guys brought down the site.
Yeah, it's just we're
Okay.
we're
Yeah,
in the
it's fine.
process of rebuilding our sites and re-adding all of our tools, and it's just not up yet. And it's going to be about 2 weeks. We've got it all scheduled. We got people working on it. We're got a
Jim,
number of products,
Jim,
and that's the way life is.
is the software ready for installation in 2022 R2?
Yes, we could do it that way. We could give you a test environment, and you could
That
set it
would
up in your
work.
environment.
oh yeah,
Jim
that's
has-
going to
I
work.
think I
Jim
could do
has-
that.
Jim has previously offered to set this stuff up in a
Yeah.
trial mode for you guys prior to purchase.
Yeah, Mike, that
Sure.
would work. I could do that. That might
That's
be a better
actually
way.
better.
Good idea.
That's better because
Yep.
then they can mess in their own test environment with their own information, and they can figure out how they tweak it to get it to work just the way they want it, because it's very flexible. But
Yeah.
it's just like Acumatica. You have to put it in the way you want it, or it doesn't help you.
So, let's schedule a time that we can discuss the mechanics behind this, and I'll make it
Mhm.
happen.
Oh, that's
That's a
wonderful.
better way of doing it.
Yep.
Jim,
Okay.
as soon
That
as
we
you
can do.
as soon as you can, you got to let me know, because I have Columbus, Atlanta, and Phoenix in the next 4 weeks.
Got it.
I'm open
Matt's
tomorrow.
got a travel schedule, is what he's saying, but we've got other people. We're also augmenting Matt and his strengths. So a lot of that's in flux.
Matt,
or
are you
in
available
process, too.
anytime tomorrow?
No, I'm sorry. I get a lot gets thrown at me. Let me look at next week's schedule. I'm in town next week, so let me see what we can do next week. I just need to look at my calendar. My
Okay.
calendars. Would that work for us? Like maybe, I don't know, first half of next week sometime.
That would work very well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
on for instance, Tuesday the 5th, I'm totally open. Except for a
But that's
meeting at 8
not
o'clock.
next week. That's the following
That's
week.
2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
thinking
sorry.
the 29th or 30th, maybe.
Yes.
Somewhere
Yes.
in
The
there.
29.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm open all day on the 29th.
I'll see
And
what
the
I can do
30th.
with my schedule.
Another meeting.
Does it look like this? Production, training?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it's
perfect.
got production and test. Yeah.
Sure, same thing.
Okay, I gotta
Not-
jump.
There's production and not production.